In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of MLA formatting. And some of the basics are what the actual document itself looks like. In the next two videos, I'm going to cover in-text citations and creating a works cited page. But there are also just expectations for how the paper is laid out on the page. So first of all, in MLA, you want to make sure to double space everything. This includes your works cited page, your header in your document, and your entire paper. MLA requires that you use a 12-point normal font, such as Times New Roman, or something similar. You should only leave one space after punctuation. This includes both commas and periods. You might have learned in high school to include 2 spaces after a period, but MLA and APA, which we'll learn later in the semester, it asks for just 1 space after a period. All the margins on your page should be set to 1 inch on all sides, left, right, top, and bottom. To designate paragraphs from one another, you don't include an extra space between paragraphs. Instead, you just indent the first line of each new paragraph 1/2 inch, or basically just 1 tab on your keyboard. For the first page of MLA, unlike APA, you don't need a title page at all. You simply have a header that kind of introduces who you are and what this paper is for, and then you get straight into the body of your essay on that first page. Like I said, in MLA, you will double space everything. This includes the header that you'll have on the top of your first page. The header on the top of your first page should list, each on a separate line, your name, followed by, on the next line, your instructor's name, followed by, on the next line, the course number or title, and on the next line, the date. And all of this should be on the left-hand side of your document. The date is written with the date first, followed by the month, and followed by the year. And I'll show you what this looks like in a second. After you have that header that's justified to the left on that first page, you just press enter once again, and you center the title of your paper. For your paper title, you should use standard caps, nothing underlined, italicized, quote, quoted, or bolded. Just the title of your paper in normal font. And finally, you should also create on your first page, but extending through the rest of the paper, a header using the header function in the upper right-hand corner that lists your last name and the page number of the document. I'm going to show you what this looks like, and I'm also going to show you how to do this on Microsoft Word. So here's an example of an essay that's been formatted according to MLA format. So you'll see here that we have on the left the name of the student, followed by the professor's name, followed by the course number, and the date, written with date, the number first, followed by the month, and followed by the year. Everything is double spaced, so I don't include an extra space before I give the title on the next line. I just make sure it's centered. Then I just begin writing my paper on the line after the title. And as you can see, I start that paragraph just by tabbing in once the first line to indicate that it's the start of a paragraph. And in the top right-hand corner, I have my last name, the student's last name, and the page number of the document that we're on. I'm going to show you how to do some of the things on Microsoft Word that I mentioned need to be done for MLA. So let's say I started my paper and I have the following. So I put in all the information I need for the header, I put in the title of my paper, and I started writing my paper. Now currently this is only in a single lines, and I want to make this double spaced. So one thing I can do is I can highlight what I have so far. I can go up here on the Home tab of Microsoft Word, and I can make the line spacing bigger using this tool. Another way I can do this is to open the whole paragraph settings through this little arrow, and I can just hit line spacing double. I also want to make sure, since I don't want a space between paragraphs, to make sure that spacing before and after are both set at 0 point. So this takes my single spaced into double space. I then want to make this title in the center of the page. I do that by going up here by paragraph once more, and I click on center, and that moves my title to the center of the document. Now I also want to include a header, so I can do that by going to Insert up here and clicking on Header. And I go down here to Edit Header, and that puts me in the header. Now I want this to be on the right, not on the left, and you can see my cursor here is on the left. So I go to Home, and then I go over, remember I did centered for the title, I go over here and I go right, and I write my last name as the author, and then I want to insert a page number, and I want that page number to move with the document, to change on each different page. So to do that, I go to Insert, and I look for, right under header here, page number. And I want to select, since I'm already where I want that number to be, I just select, I want it in the current position, and I choose a plain number. And that will change the number of each page you go to. So when I get to my second page, it will then say Steffes 2. I can get out of header by just double clicking somewhere else in the document, and there I go. So that's how you generally format a MLA document.